So in my first video, I introduced the right angle triangle, which is a subtopic under trigonometry, which is a very relevant branch of geometry. I made a very interesting introduction of the right angle triangle and how important it is and how it can be applied. So this was a definition and an introduction. So I would love to solve a problem. By solving this problem, I think that will help me explain some concepts that has to do with the right angle triangle. So we'll go this way. Suppose we are told to find, roll this up, okay. All right, we're good. So suppose we are told to find or solve this completely. So let's imagine, let's consider the question around this, that we have to solve this completely. By solving completely is to find every part of the right angle triangle, every angle and every side. We have only 2 or 3 information given to us, 3 information, and that is the hypotenuse, the longest side, that's 5 units. We have the inclined angle as 30 degrees, and we have the right angle triangle there, also the right angle itself, 90 degrees over there. So that is all the information we have for now, and all we need to do is to kind of solve this completely. So what we do first is we use the available. We have the hypotenuse, and suppose we want to find the opposite. So I have a formula, and that is the formula sine theta. The formula relates the opposite side in which I'm looking for with the hypotenuse, and clearly the angle here is 30 degrees, so I have sine 30 to be equals to the opposite side. I can call that y divided by the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse side is 5. By special angles, I don't need to use a calculator for this. My special angle sine 30 degrees is simply 1/2. So I can replace this as 1/2 equals to y/5. So 1/2 is the same thing as 1/5, and I can multiply this, so I can use 5 to multiply this. So 5 times 1, and that gives me 5/2. So I'm going to be having y equals to 5/2 units. So we've gotten one part of it, and we've gotten the opposite side to be 5/2 units. So this is 5/2 units. But the truth is that I want to find the adjacent side. To find the adjacent side, I may not have to go through this process. I can go through this process. I may not have to. But for any right angle triangle where you already have 2 sides given, you can find the third side. So once you have the 2 sides given, you can find the third side, and you can use the theorem we refer to as the Pythagoras theorem. So the Pythagoras theorem is simply telling you that the longest side, which is the hypotenuse, which we can call zy, so that is zy squared is equal to zy squared is equals to x y squared, and xy squared is simply the opposite. You add this to the simply the adjacent. So xy is simply the adjacent, and xz is the opposite side, and that is xz squared. So we have zy squared equals to xy squared plus xz squared. So zy squared is simply 5 squared. If we replace, we substitute by substitution, and xy is what we're looking for, so we can leave that as xy, or you can also call it x. It's a problem. The xz is 5/2 from diagram. It's 5/2 from the diagram. We'll square it because of the square we have available here. So this gives us 25. This is simply xy squared, and this by indices, this is 5 squared, which is 25, and this is 2 squared, which is 4. So 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 4, as 2 times 2 remains 4. So we can make xy subject of the formula by subtracting this from both sides. So we simply have 25, which is already here, and we'll subtract this from that, minus 25 over 4. So I did a video on fractions, so you can handle this easily. So to handle this, we simply take note that our LCM is 4. So we have 4 divided by 1, which is 4 times this. 4 times this is 100, minus 4 divided by 4 is 1 times this, you have 25. So we simply have this to give us 75 over 4. But that is not what we're looking for. What we're actually looking for is xy. To find xy, we simply find the square root of 75 over 4. We can leave our answer in sort form. Remember, in one of my videos I discussed what sorts are. You can check my channel out. 75 can be reduced to, so I can reduce this to 25 times, so let me look at this, market this times 4 over square root of 4. Sorry, 3. Sorry about this. It's 3. Okay, sorry. 75 is 25 times 3, not 4. And that will give us the square root of 25 is simply 5. Square root of 3 remains the third, and the square root of 4 gives us 2. So we have that as our answer. So our answer is simply the square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 3 is square root of 3 remains the third here. The square root of 4, we have that. So I separated this, and that is for this. So we have our answer here to be 5 square root of 3 divided by 2. So finally, what we want to look for here is that angle Z. And how do we get the angle Z? We should just know that the sum of angles in any triangle is 180 degrees. So it's obvious that this angle Z plus this angle 90 degrees plus this angle 30 degrees will give me 180 degrees. And that is angles in a triangle. So this is easy. We can solve this out because 90 plus 30 will give us 120, and 120 minus that, we have our Z to be 180 minus 120, and that is simply at 60 degrees. So we have this angle to be 60 degrees. In my next video, I will be discussing some other concepts that is very, very relevant, and we can use and we can relate all these values together. Thank you.